What's going on, you guys? What is going on, you guys? What is going on? This is your boy, Scotty by Nature TV, and we're here for a brand new episode of Yes for the Mess, where we talk about celebrity gossip, hot topics, and all things reality TV based. I hope you guys are having a wonderful, wonderful 4th, and I intend on doing the exact same by being at the house all damn day because I am not celebrating the 4th. I already celebrated Juneteenth, so that's the only holiday that matters. I'm just glad to be off work. That's all the fuck that really matters to me, okay? But anyway, you guys, what's going on? I know that there is not a lot going on because of the 4th of July holiday, but I'm still going to try to give you guys some videos here and there. Now, this is one of the videos that I wanted to give you guys today, and it's going to be one of those, yes for the mess shorts. It's not going to be no longer than about 8 to 10 minutes long. It's not going to be long at all. So it's going to be one of them type of videos. And I feel like, we need to discuss this just a tad bit, right? So, without any further ado, let's go into it. Now, in the light of the verdict of the Diddy case, because y'all know I have not been following the Diddy case like that at all. I've allowed people like Armon and Tisa Tales and Make It Make Sense to be the ones to give you guys the news on this case because they're doing a swell job at covering the case. And I'm glad that they're getting their tens, they're getting their flowers, they're getting everything that they deserve with this case. However, the person that we've been seeing a lot of, from being on Nancy Grace to being on Angela Yee's radio show, is Armon Wiggins. So he is definitely in the spotlight right now for his coverage on the Diddy case. Okay, so the day of the verdict, a video went viral where it was Armon Wiggins and a couple of other people standing outside the courtroom dousing themselves with body oil. Now, we're going to go ahead and get into the viral video at hand first that started all of the controversy, and then we're going to go ahead and get into what he has said in response to everything that's been put out there. So let's go ahead and get into the video that everybody's been talking about.
I told y'all this to get out. I think I look for three. For three, go back up a little bit, buddy. For three, look. For three. For three.
Okay, so that was the video that has been going viral and things like that with him, doing the whole more oil thing. Now, here's my thing about that situation, right? So if you've been following Armon's coverage of this case, you do know that he talks about it in a humorous way. He tells a story, and he always, put oil himself up with every video that he does. So most people that are following him and sees him and knows all about this, that more oil thing is a thing in his coverage, right? So because of the fact that he was standing outside of, the courtroom doing that, he was labeled as a Diddy supporter. So what we're going to do now is go into some of the tweets that I've seen where they were going in on Armon Wiggins in response to all of that, right? So let's go ahead. So here are some tweets that I picked up on. Someone says, dumbass Armon Wiggins ruined all that motion he had covering his case by pouring baby oil on himself outside of a federal courthouse. Folks were just starting to take you serious in the media space, and now you're back to zero. Oh, dumbass. Damn, okay. So someone else says, this is why you shouldn't label influencers and YouTubers, streamers, and vloggers journalists. Imagine getting booked on all these shows and being mentioned in the same breath as Nancy Grace to be doing this bullshit and then being the and then this being the excuse. Embarrassing. Okay. Be prepared for the dragon session on TikTok and YouTube because the respected content creators are about to pack Armon Wiggins' weird ass up, okay? So here's another one. Funky Dineva told not one lie. Armon Wiggins needs to grow the F up. You're pushing 40 and you are a 37-year-old man outside of a courtroom celebrating a disgusting ass human being by being sprayed down in baby oil. It doesn't get no lower than this, okay? And of course, once again, they said Armon Wiggins celebrating the Diddy verdict outside the courthouse while pouring baby oil on himself is next level trash. These are the new journalists. Damn, after the whole Foxo saga, Armon Wiggins did not learn a ass thing. This is your peak, Armon. Enjoy it. You will never see the attention you got during this trial again. Okay? And then there's one more comment. Well, there's two more. Well, here's another one, by the way. Someone else said, I'm actually glad that you did this. People barely respected you as a news source before that. But one day when you're not getting any serious opportunities, you'll remember that you willingly oiled up for the cameras, and that regret is going to eat you up. Okay. And what else? Armon Wiggins just lost a little credibility he had. And then this is what someone else says. Someone else says, so this is the new media that y'all want us to respect. Toxic YouTube content creators who align themselves with abusers. Armon Wiggins being doused in baby oil and given a whole monkey in a minstrel show in front of these credential news supporters. News outlets in support of Diddy. I could only imagine how much of a court jester he would have been if Tory would have been found not guilty, as he heavily supported him during the trial. Okay, so those are some of the backlash tweets that I saw on Twitter that were pretty much like going in on him, like very much so going in on him. And I'm gonna give y'all my full opinion at the end. So after all of the backlash that he got, I did watch his live, but then he also took to Instagram and put out a public apology. So this is what he said on on Instagram. So he says, yesterday, a clip of me outside the courthouse went viral and was taken out of context. What started as a lighthearted moment, part of a long-running joke with my audience, was misinterpreted as support for Sean Diddy Combs. That was never my intention. For the past 60 days, I've worked hard to cover this case with honesty and objectivity. That moment was about sharing a bit of levity with the community that's been on this journey with me and nothing more. Still, I fully understand how the timing and the optics may have felt hurtful, especially to survivors of abuse. I sincerely apologize to anyone who was impacted or disappointed. This has been a reminder to move with greater care, and I remain committed to doing this work with integrity and heart. Okay, so that is what Armon said. That was his apology to the people after everyone felt a way about him standing outside of the courthouse with the whole thing of dousing himself with baby oil, right? So there were responses to this as well. So I know he posted this on Twitter as well. So we're going to go back to Twitter once again. Jerome Trammell says, I love to see this. That's literally what I was saying. The optics look worse than it actually was based on people's emotions. Someone says this apology wore Chat GPT out. Thank you, because Cassie or the U.S. could easily make that as a reason to deny his bail, even though Cassie didn't got paid. Do the violation, apologize, rinse, and repeat. Okay? Someone else says embarrassing us and more importantly yourself as a man. I don't know what this apology is supposed to mean, but hopefully you read the room next time and represent yourself more consciously in the world. The real ones know what it was. And then someone else says, girl, we don't want to hear it. You're disgusting. Now, that is how you respond. Good on you for taking in good criticism. Still wishing for bigger and better things for you. Never stunt your growth. Rooting for you. Someone says, girl, you're pouring baby oil on yourself isn't doing nothing but reminding the victims of what happened to them. You are a terrible person. But why would that even be a key? You know, in situations like this, it's sensitive when on one hand, victims are praying for a guilty verdict while you're out parading, talking about bring on the baby oil like you're at a damn club. Someone else says, I respect this. This was very smart. You have a new audience now, so they won't get it like your regular degulars. This was very mature of you, twin. Love this. All right. So those are some of the comments that was being stated after he put out his apology. Now, it's time for Scotty by Nature TV to give his thoughts on this situation, because everybody knows this, and I ain't got to say it, but everybody knows that I am a huge, huge Armon Wiggins fan. He's a big inspiration to me in what I do and how I do it and things like that. And I don't always agree with him. I've sat on his platform and called him out many a times when I felt like he was on some bullshit. Y'all know that, right? So let's get into it. Now, this is what I got to say. Once again, if you've been following him throughout this whole case, y'all know that he does that whole more oil, more oil, more oil. You know, he does this throughout his whole, you know, thing with the case. Like, that's what he do. That's his thing. He tells a story, and then even when it's supposed to be serious, he makes it a little bit more. He brings a little bit of humor into the story, which is why a lot of people were following him and were giving him his credit for the case. Everybody liked him the most during this case. So as a fan and as a person that's been watching him since 2018, I get exactly what he was doing and why he was doing it. But in the same breath, in the same scheme of things, I do think that there is a time and a place for certain things. And you also have to think about the optics of everything now at this point, because Armon, you're in one of the better places that you've been in since your whole YouTube career. Like, let's be for real. Let's be for real, for real. Like, you're in a good place right now. The female rappers know you. You was just on Fox Soul last year. There was one of your first big breaks. And then not only were you on Fox Soul, but you're sitting here on the same screen as Nancy Grace. You feel what I'm saying? Like, you're on Angela Yee's radio show. And I don't even listen to Angela Yee. I was listening to her because you were there. You feel what I'm saying? And I just felt like with her having you on that show, I'm like, bitch, this could be a career for him. He could sit up there. You brought something exciting to Angela Yee's show. I was very happy to see you on that platform. I'm always happy for people that are my counterparts. I love Armon Wiggins, and everybody knows that. And I'm a big fan. Everybody knows that too. But we got to keep it a buck here. You kind of fucked yourself up by going out there doing that. Even though your real people know, the people that's been following you, they know exactly what this is given and what you're doing it for, and you know all that. So we know that. Those of us that watch you, we know what is given. But there are people that are not familiar with you like that who may not know about what you're doing and how you're doing it and why you're doing it. You feel what I'm saying? So you got to take into account that you got a new audience. You got to take that into account. Your numbers are going up. You're getting way more attention, and the possibilities are endless at this point. And you did the best thing you knew how by covering this trial, because covering this trial puts you in different rooms. It puts you in different spaces, and it gave you a lot of eyes, because there's so many people watching you right now. When I saw Coco from SWV reposting you, I'm like, bitch, you in there. When I saw you on Nancy Grace, bitch, you in there. Like, you got it at the palm of your hand. But right now, it may be a situation where this video has gone viral. You all up in the video with, you know, caressing yourself with the oil, more oil, all that shit. And now it's looking like you're a Diddy apologist. And you don't need to look like no Diddy apologist. You feel what I'm saying? Because it's a sensitive case. It's dealing with victims of SA, and it can be triggering for people. So you got to take into account a lot of the things that you say and do. You feel what I'm saying? And you know, it's only so much you can take from me, because I'm still small compared to you. I'm at 57K. You're close to 300 if you ain't there already. So you got a whole lot going on for yourself, and you got way more than me right about now. And I can honestly say that. But all I want for you to know is that I ain't really mad at you, because I understand why. I understand what you were doing, but I also understand why people were outraged about it. It's all about the optics right now. And you have to think about what you're doing now. It ain't the same. You got to think about it. It's not that you cannot move the exact same way that you did before all of this. Before all this, you could have probably did that and nobody would have nothing to say. But now that you've been on Nancy Grace, and now that you've been on Angela Yee and shit like that, you know what I mean? You can't move the same way that you did before. You got to move with a little bit more tech. You got to move with a little bit more professionalism. You got to move with a little bit more of, you know, thought processing. You got to think about what you're doing before you do it. And, you know, there's some people that can accept your apology, but then you got to also think about it. While you're well loved in this space, you're polarizing as well. And while there's a lot of people like myself that actually love you and what you do, there's some people that can't stand your ass and wait and see you fall to the ground. So you got to think about all of those things when you go out there and you do the things that you do in Armon. I can honestly say that, because I ain't gonna lie, when I saw it, I was fucking confused. But at the same time, I was like, well, that's what he do on his thing. But you can do it there, but don't stand outside a courthouse when a verdict is being called out and you out there with baby oil. You're gonna look like a coon in the Diddy Apologist. And that's just the truth of the matter. That's how you gonna look. You feel what I'm saying? Although that wasn't what you were trying to do, but to everybody else, that's what you're giving. And that was something that Jessica Dime had stated up under your apology. Let me go back to your Instagram page real fast. Let me go back. And this video is winding up to being way longer than I thought it was going to be. But let me go back to your Instagram page where you posted the apology, right? So Jessica Dime said, "We as your supporters, we knew what you meant, no ill intent, but I can understand why you apologize. This and the other situation with the heckler came at you fast. You manifested all of this, and your momentum covering this trial came fast as well. So you are learning how to deal with situations as they come at you. Humbly and gracefully, that's life. Growth comes with accountability, and I love to see it." I agree with what Dime Piece is saying. That's the perfect way to say that. Claudia Jordan said, "Very mature, thoughtful, and appreciated statement." Okay. Babs Bunny from the band. She says, "I watch the show every day, and I know you do this on the show. We know what it was. We know what it was, but others who don't watch don't know. You are at a point in your career where you need a team, management and PR, and your cameraman or girl. This will all pass on. Back to being great. Love seeing you win." I agree with what Babs is saying wholeheartedly. That's basically where we at with it. Those of us who watch you, we know you do this on the show. But then there's people who don't watch you and people that don't know you still that don't know. So right now you're at a place where you got all this momentum. Everybody's watching you. Everybody is interested in what this man Armon Wiggins got to say. You've been on your YouTube grind for a long time, and now it's finally paying off. And now people are finally realizing who you are. So you got to watch what you do and watch what you say. You can't come out this bitch being problematic. You can't do that. You cannot really you cannot make a big misstep right now. This is too much momentum. This is the most momentum you've ever had. Get that shit. Do the right thing. And you did the right thing by apologizing. Now, it just depends on how everybody, as much as I love you, I had to hold you accountable for that. The optics look fucked up. We just got to be real about it. The optics look fucked up. And if it was anybody else, I would have said the same damn thing. The optics look fucked up. No matter what you do on your platform, that's one thing. But doing it out there in front of a group of people at a courthouse, and the media and everybody's out there, and your name and your face and your image been out there for great things, might I add, that people are going to take that shit, right? So you got to be mindful of what you do. In the words of K. Michelle, don't be sorry, be mindful. Hold on, pull up. Okay, tell that bitch to move back. That's all I got to say about that, y'all. So with that being said, y'all, that's pretty much all that I got for this topic right now. Be sure to like, rate, comment, subscribe, share this video, and also click on the notification bell so you can be notified whenever video drops. And if you want to follow me on any form of social media, my Twitter, my IG, and my TikTok will be down below. With that being said, you guys, your boys up out here, and I will see you guys on the next one. Bye.
It's on some whole shit. What happened to the Zeus fame? Then Bobby made you change your name. For a show, still searching for a ring. Pray these hoes find better days. Cut off everybody. Don't trust nobody. Play with everybody. Don't have nobody. Cut off everybody. Don't trust nobody. Play with everybody. Don't have nobody. Nigga never was a real one. Copping, please, spreading lies. What you hiding from? All these shows just an extra.
Little dance now, twerking on shit live.
Bad bitch, munch it up, cock goblin. Slapping ass on this dick, cock goblin. Gobble up his dick, bitch, a cock goblin. Fuck him in the
bad, but I'm better. Ass poke out just fat.